Hey there, extraordinary treasurers. Voiding a check is necessary at times, and fortunately, Jewel makes it easy. Whether the check is in the current month or in an already closed month, you can void it by going to Home Page, Accounting, Void a Check. If you don't see Void a Check as an option, it could be that you're using a version that is older than Jewel version 7, which is when this snazzy feature was introduced, and you need to upgrade. But let's assume that you found Void a Check and clicked on it. Something like this is what you will see. If the check is old enough, you will need to change the little circle button from Last 3 months only to Show All Checks to find it. If you have a lot of checks to search through, you can use various sort order options like sorting by date, check number, payee, account, or memo. Remember the outstanding check from the last video? We're going to void it now. Whichever sort method you use, find the check that you need to void and highlight it by clicking on it. This makes it turn blue. The memo and date in the bottom left is automatically generated, and we want to keep it the way it is, so just click OK on the top right of the screen. When a question box pops up, answer yes, and you'll be taken back to Home Page. One thing you need to know is that depending on the version of Jewel you're using, if you go back to Void Check and look again, that check that you voided may still be there, which has led many a treasurer to void it again, trying to get it to disappear. It might not disappear until you actually reconcile, but in any case, just void it once and stop. Whether it disappears or not, Jewel has already entered an adjusting entry, a minus check, that will show up on your check report. See the memo? Tells that it is a void check, and it gives you the check number. It will also show up in the checks written and bank fees section when you reconcile. If you click on More Checks and scroll down to the bottom of the list of checks, you will see a check that has a minus amount that matches the check that is being voided. For example, the check we voided was to Ben Fry for $41.79. The adjusting entry is for minus $41.79. If you have voided a check from this month before it is closed, like I did here with check number 8370, when it comes time to reconcile, you will notice that this check number just says void and has a balance of 0. And any line on the bank rec that has a balance of 0 can be checked off during the reconcile process. But how do we get rid of the checks and adjustments from a closed month? The Ben Fry original outstanding check for $41.79 is still there up at the top, and so is the adjustment down towards the bottom for minus $41.79. So here's the trick. If you click both the check and the adjustment off in the same reconciliation, they will cancel each other out and equal 0. So your reconciliation can continue without being affected by either of them, and checking them off clears them, so they go away. But notice we also have the replacement check that we wrote to Ben Fry, and it's down towards the bottom near the void adjustment. So we have to make sure that we don't check it off accidentally instead of the original outstanding check. Make sure you look at the check number to get the right one. Can you see why keeping up with this is much easier than letting it go for months? It can get really confusing if several months of entries stack up without reconciling. Once you void a check, make sure to complete the bank rec portion of the task. Otherwise, the check and the adjustment just continue to hang out on your bank rec, cluttering it up even more than the outstanding check did. We're nearly to the end of the bank rec topic in our training videos, but you might have to deal with an NSF check occasionally. So we're going to talk about that next.